Hello. So, after my little breakdown video, it was more like my confidence is always kicking the roof, but it was coming down a bit. I have those sides too. For today's video, I'm going to be answering, or not answering, I often get the question like, why are you not injured? You're training so much. So, I want to explain to you why I don't get injured or everything can happen, right? Let's start. First, I also want to say that this is just my thoughts and nothing works for all. And I can't sit here and tell you what to do because it doesn't have to be right. But this is my thoughts and I think they're pretty successful. So, yeah. There's not like an astronomical recipe to don't get injured. It's just about balance and probably things you already know, but it can be good to like get a reminder. The first one, that's pretty obvious, but it's also hard to follow. That one is to not train when you feel like something hurts. And when you're in a training flow, it's maybe hard to stop training because something hurts and you were so like in a good flow and everything. But when something starts to hurt, then it's your body telling you to take a chill pill. If it's like a big competition coming up, and you feel like you have to run, maybe you have to think it's worth it. But if you rest now, then you maybe have to rest for a week. If you run the competition, maybe you have to rest for 3 weeks. Is it worth it? You have to think if it's worth it. So yeah, if it's like a big competition, it's maybe worth it. You also have to rest for longer because you're tearing everything apart again. So if something starts to hurt, it's never a great timing to take a step back, but you have to do it. If you continue, it will hurt more and more and more and more. In the end, you can't run anymore, so. And also, you don't always have to push the line. You have to take a step back. You can like push the line a little bit, then take a step back, then push the line a little bit more, then take a step back. Not always pushing. Then it's probably going to snap right in front of you. Take tiny step forwards, tiny step backwards. Not like pushing really hard and then you have to take a rest for a month. So just finding balance in training and taking rest days, and you don't always have to fully rest on a rest day. If you feel like a recovery run is like a rest day for you, then go for it, like you know your body the best. So, and the second thing I have to say is that you have to fuel enough, eat enough food. Food is fuel, and if you don't give your body enough fuel, then it's going to run empty. Your body takes the energy it gets. So if you're training hard, then if it gets enough energy, then you're going to recover properly. If you don't give it enough energy, then the body's going to take the energy to survive first, into the organs first. So then it's not going to recover properly, and then you can't train as hard as if you were eating enough. So another thing is that you have to sleep enough. You maybe did know this. You have to sleep enough hours. You don't have to go to bed at 8 and wake up at 5, but like you just have to get the hours in. And also it's good to sleep at night because then that's when our bodies are supposed to sleep. And everything comes down to balance. So all the stress you have in your life adds up to, you can fill a glass. If it runs over, then it's a finito. Try maybe to stress as little as possible. It's really hard because that's like a natural reaction to if it's something in your life. So everything comes down to balance. Some have a better balance, they can train more. So it's about mental state, it's about everything like genetics maybe, I don't know. But if you listen to your body, it's going to be the best. So listen to your body. The last thing I want to say is that strength training is a really good one too. If you're strength training, then you're stronger, your muscles are stronger. You can put more pressure on your muscles, if you know what I mean. Do it, okay? It doesn't have to be like 3 hours a week. It can be 30 minutes 2 times a week, or an hour once a week. Like, it doesn't have to be much, just do it, okay? Maybe not in the season, but in the like training phase, do some strength training. Also, like foam rolling, stretching and everything, that prehab too. If you know that you have a weak spot, then you can do it. I mean, I know that my hips, they are weak spots, but I've never felt that it hurts in my hips. It's just like, I know that I have a hard time sometimes, like walking over hurdles and stuff, and then it snaps when I do some exercises, then my hips snap, and then I know that's because my muscles are weak, or that's what I think. So I'm doing exercises for my hips even though I'm not injured. So that's a good one too, just to not get injured. So to answer the question why I am not getting injured, it's because if I feel something, that happens to me too. If I feel something, then I stop like immediately. If I'm too tired, I don't train. If my motivation is low, I take it a bit easier, because my motivation is so high that if it gets low, then it's because I'm tired. So that's also a good indication that you need to sleep more, eat more, train less, or anything like that. I'm also eating like a lion and sleeping really well, so if my motivation gets low, then I know it's because I'm training too much. But that doesn't happen very often actually. Sometimes I'm just like, oh no, now I don't feel like training, and then I'm skipping a training session, and then the next session I'm just like, woohoo! Yeah, and the sleep thing, I'm real strict with the sleep thing, and I can miss out on social events and stuff because I'm sleeping, but you also have to find a balance with that. I think that it's worth it for me, but I'm also participating in the social events sometimes. Like, I don't know, I just try to find a balance that is good for me, and you have to find a balance with that. What's worth it for you? I think if it's worth missing social events for sleep for you, then do it. For me, it's like sometimes it's important, sometimes it's not. And the stress thing I'm working on. School stress me out a lot sometimes. Then I'm just taking a step back, trying to breathe. If I'm too stressed, then I'm taking down the training. For example, when I was working in the summer, I just had 1 training session a day and not 2 like I used to. And because the work was so active, I felt like it's not going to be beneficial for me training a second time on the day. So that was like a recovery week, but it wasn't because I was working. But I think that was smart, because last summer I trained 2 times a day and it was the same working. And then one day I fell because my concentration was low, probably because I was tired, and then I injured myself. So I have injured myself before. I'm just like not getting the overtraining kind of injuries. I just fell like a few times. And for the last thing, for the strength training, I trained 3, 4, 5 hours a week for a year, strength training in the beginning, because I was really weak. When I started running, I got an injury because I was weak and didn't feel enough, and I was probably stressed and everything. So then I started strength training because I needed stronger muscles. And then I did that for like a year until I had put on some muscles, because it's really hard to put on muscle when you're also running and being active and stuff. So you don't have to be afraid of putting on too much muscle and being heavy, because you're not going to put on more muscles than your body wants if you're also running and stuff. But now I have decreased my strength training because I feel like I'm strong enough. I deadlifted 100 kilos. Just put it out there, you know. No, but I think you don't need to be stronger to be a runner. I decreased the strength training because the strength training is also like the opposite of running. And you get pretty tired when you're strength training and running. You're just on your running trainings. Is it worth it? How much? How heavy? How long you're going to strength train? I was often doing like 90 minutes, but now I'm just doing 40 to 50 because I feel like that's enough for the running, because otherwise I'm getting tired on my runs. So I've just found a balance now. Now I'm probably doing like 40 minutes to 1.5 hours a week. And it's also different because when I'm competing, like this week I'm going to run the Swedish Championships, then I am not doing as much strength. I'm just doing like 40 minutes easy. So that's my top secrets that I'm putting out there for you. This probably works on other sports too. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. By the way, this is broken, so I have to fix it. Be a bird!